Our Ireland adventure begins in Dublin, and with the help of Google Earth, we are able to zoom in right to the front door of our Dublin apartment. We were surprised how boisterous and busy Dublin was. At times, it seemed the whole city was full of tourists. And by the way, catching a bus here is never a problem. After our long travel day, we were hungry and thirsty and visited our first Dublin pub, the Parnell. The ambiance was great, the food excellent, and of course, you never forget your first Guinness on draft. The next morning, we had breakfast at the Merchant's Arch, serving food and drink since 1821. And here we are walking on the famous Halfpenny Bridge, so named because for 100 years after it was built in 1816, pedestrians were charged, you guessed it, a halfpenny to cross it. And from the Halfpenny Bridge, we head to Trinity College, home to the sacred Book of Kells. The Book of Kells, created around 800 AD, is an illustrated representation of the four Gospels of the New Testament. In this room are enlargements of some of the holy pages. We were able to see the actual Book of Kells encased in glass, but unfortunately, photographs were not permitted. Taken from the internet, here is an image of the actual Book of Kells. The main chamber of Trinity College's old library is called the Long Room. It is filled with over 200,000 of the college's oldest books. As of 1801, it has held every book ever published in Britain and Ireland. It is one of the world's most impressive libraries. Of course, no tour of Dublin is complete until you visit the Guinness Brewery. From the Guinness Brewery, we traveled to one of Dublin's most famous and oldest pubs, the Temple Bar. After spending 2 days in Dublin, we traveled to our next lodging, located in the town of Thurles. This is an exciting day because on this part of our trip, we head to Tipperary to finally visit the Rowan farm. John and Elaine Rowan. John and Elaine own over 125 acres and provide milk to the local communities thanks to their 70 head of dairy cows. Enjoyed our time with John and Elaine and can't wait to see them again on a future visit. Also located in Tipperary is the Rock of Cashel. This castle was the traditional seat of the ancient kings of Munster for several hundred years. In 1101, the King of Munster donated his fortress on the rock to the Christian Church. Next, we traveled to Kenmare, where Delaney picked out yet another beautiful rental house. Another must-see site in Ireland is the Blarney Castle. It was a medieval stronghold and was built around the late 11th century. It has changed hands over these many years, but of course, the most enduring feature is kissing the Blarney Stone. It's a long climb, but luckily we did not have many people in front of us. And here is Deb giving a masterclass on how to kiss the Blarney Stone. Surrounding the castle, and certainly not to be missed, are the beautiful Gardens of Blarney. Next up is the Staig Fort. This stone fort was built around 300 to 400 AD and was a defensive stronghold for a local lord. During this part of our trip, we traveled along the Ring of Kerry. It is a 111-mile loop, showcasing many beautiful towns and highlighting spectacular views of Ireland. Sometimes it's necessary to share the road with the locals. Off in the distance are the Skellig Islands. If these islands look familiar to you, it may be because this is where they filmed major scenes from the Star Wars movies The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. From Kenmare, we head north to Fenor to check out Inch Beach, the Kilkee Cliffs, and the Cliffs of Moher. Inch Beach, a popular site for locals and tourists, is located on the Dingle Peninsula, and it stretches for about 4 miles. In the distance, you can see the mountain ranges of Kerry. To save 2 hours' time, we took the 20-minute ferry crossing the famed Shannon River. Our destination? The Kilkee Cliffs. Not as well known as the Cliffs of Moher, but they should be. These are truly magnificent cliffs and should not be missed on your next visit to Ireland. Unfortunately, because of time constraints, we only had a short time to visit Killarney National Park. Of course, no trip to Ireland is complete without visiting the Cliffs of Moher. On our trip, though, fog played a major role, but at some points of the day, the fog did clear, and we were able to see the beautiful Cliffs of Moher. From the town of Dublin, we took the 35-minute boat ride to Inishmore, located on the Aran Islands. Easily, the best way to tour the island is by bicycle. And here we are getting ready for our long trip ahead. Along the way, we stopped to check out the ruins of Temple Cairn, a church built around the 12th century. Another site we visited were the ruins of the 7 churches. But the most interesting ruin on this island was Temple Behind. Holding the record for the smallest church in Ireland, it measures only 15 feet by 11 feet. As we continue our bike journey around Inishmore, we saw many beautiful sights and even had time to take in a pint of Guinness. Back on the mainland, we stopped at a local pub and we were treated to some excellent Irish music. In Kenmare, there is an area called the Burren. It's a rocky beach which actually has some impressive cliffs as well. And as you can see, we finally received our first rain. On this rainy day, and our last full day of sightseeing, we checked out Galway. Walking the store-lined streets, it had the feel of Diagon Alley from the Harry Potter movies. On our final night in Ireland, Delaney certainly outdid herself and picked out our best lodging ever, an Irish castle. As we close the door on our final night, we leave with much gratitude, knowing how lucky we were to see the many highlights of Ireland. On our flight home, we reflect on our Ireland adventure, the beautiful sights we visited, the time spent with family, and the adventures that we shared together. This is a beautiful country, and this is a trip we will never forget. This is Ireland.